Hi, I'm Nick. This is Nick's Fix. Today I'm going to talk about the uncanny connections between ancient Kedah to the Greek civilization. There's 5 points. First up, the warding of the evil sign. Well, I've been an avid fan of Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series, and in the books, Annabeth Chase, the daughter of Athena, mentioned regarding the warding of the evil hand sign. Now, how does ancient Kedah comes into the picture? The Facebook page of Sungai Batu Tamadun Terawal Asia Tenggara, the admin, once shared that the researchers and the archaeologists there found a brick with 3 parallel line marks. They believe that in the olden days, jinns and spiritual beings and entities were encaused, placed or trapped in structures and bricks and used them to cast spells for protections against evil beings and other beasts. Well, could this mark just be made by animals? It could be, but I haven't seen the particular brick mentioned shared yet. So this is all speculation, but if it is true, I'm putting it as a possibility. Now, could the brick hold the first clue to the uncanny connections between ancient Kedah and Greek? The ancient Greek has been said to have arrived and settled in to wait out the monsoon seasons. But discussions at length about the possibilities of their really being a part of the ancient Kedah community and living it out as part of the society and culture has not been discussed at length. So solid proof is still missing big time on this, but time will tell. Next up, number 2 on the list is about architecture. Growing up, I've always been like many other kids around the world, found my fascinations with ancient Greek ruins and their beautiful architectural remains. So I was taken by surprise when a popular alternative history blogger, Cik Srikandi, posted some pictures of a peculiar mosque in Pengkalang Kakap, Kedah. The Pengkalang Kakap Mosque, built in the 1880s and renovated in 1994, was already known in mainstream media and the blogosphere. But what made Cik Srikandi's expose juicy is that she presented the probability that the Pengkalang Kakap Mosque bore ancient architectural leanings from the Greek civilization. Look, the big pillars all throughout the mosque at Pengkalang Kakap, Kedah. Here, there, everywhere. Okay, this mosque is not that ancient. It's not even built in ancient Kedah's time. But the design of the mosque itself is unique, even in today's standard. Hence, Cik Srikandi's bold arguments that Greeks may have been here and has embedded their aesthetics and flares could be possibly entertaining. What say you? Cik Srikandi, apart from introducing us with the mosque of Pengkalang Kakap, Kedah, also said that there is a mysterious Bujang Valley archaeological site with an Area 21 name. And as expected, Cik Srikandi said the design of the remains can be connected to the ancient Greek building styles. Well, there hasn't been much to the ruins in Lembah Bujang as of late, or for what we can see, it's not as grand as Borobudur and Angkor, but from what remains, the researchers has concluded that it is 1,100 years old. It is in an unofficial statement. They said that it is a mosque, and the mosque, according to Cik Srikandi, bears architectural style leanings towards the Greek styles. Okay, next up is number 3 in our uncanny connection theories. Mount Jurai, could it be holding similar secrets like Mount Olympus? Professor Dr Mokhtar Saidin has alluded that people in the ancient Kedah have great respects for Mount Jurai, and the word Professor Mokhtar said sounded like they worshipped it. But the how and why has not been explained and shared up to now. It might be that they found Mount Jurai sacred, which is not unlike only for Mount Olympus, but it also can be found towards Mount Fuji and numerous other mountains around the world. People do have great affections towards their surroundings, particularly big mountains. One aspect that has been recently unearthed is the fact that they were palaces on Mount Jurai. Some even attributed it to the times of the biblical King David. Professor Dr Solehah of UIAM has pointed out that Jurai is corrupted word from ancient Arab, and it is not from Sarai, which means lemongrass. The Old Arabic or ancient Arabic word is Sarai, which is still in use in modern Turkey, and it means palace. Scientists have pointed out that Mount Jurai was actually an island in some time a while back. What do we make of that? Not unlike the fabled Mount Olympus depicted in Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, Mount Olympus was bejeweled with beautiful and majestic marble palaces all around it. So did Mount Jurai or Sarai, if it is to be believed, may have that resemblance also to Mount Olympus? Did ancient Kedah people adore the Greeks so much that they entombed their fascinations through the Mount Jurai projects with the constructions of palaces? But who lives in them? Humans? Now, did the ancient Kedah worship Mount Jurai like the Greeks do for Mount Olympus? But even for the Greeks, they don't worship the mountain itself. It was held as a sacred place, mostly because venerated and powerful beings are said to live there. That the ancient Kedahans took the concept and built a Greek-inspired luxury townships with palaces on Mount Jurai? Or did they also believe in something similar to the Greek pantheon of deities? As far as gods and deities, Professor Dr Mokhtar Saidin USM commented before that the ancient Kedahans were believed to be animistic. They believe in spirits. There is also a curious ritualistic structure found in Sungai Batu Archaeological Complex, a sort of structure where people pay respect to, perhaps by going around it. Now, did the Greeks really influence old Kedah people up until how they view an adjacent Mount Jurai as fondly as Mount Olympus? Was it just a sentiment taught and shared by Greeks that came there? The fourth one is budu, a type of fish sauce mainly eaten by Cantonese Malaysians. Guess what? Ancient Romans and Greeks have the same penchant, gourmand mania, for fish sauce, and they called it garam. So what's with garam and budu? Did the Cantonese took the know-hows and made it a mainstay for them till now? Now the question is, did the Greeks learn it from Kedah or Cantonese people, or the other way around? Did they share recipes, traded vintage good budus and garams? Budu and garam, another uncanny connection. What say you? Too far off too? Number five is about the power of invincibility. In the Malay martial arts, there are talks about some people who can't get hurt at all by weapons. Their skin is impenetrable. So there is this Raja Loyo from Kelantan, a neighboring kingdom from Kedah, who is said to have that ability. For Percy Jackson, in the series by Rick Riordan, where he copied the journey of the real Greek hero Perseus, both of them bathe in the river Styx to get that power of invincibility. And in that story, we get to know Achilles, who was there to give him advice. For we know that Achilles also bathed in the river Styx to make him invincible, but save for the tiny spot at his heel. So the invincibility part is real, but there is one catch. There need one part vulnerability will be there. The river Styx in Greek mythology is one of the rivers in the underworld. The people in ancient Greeks swore by it, and they believe that the oath or promise to be binding if it is to be made on river Styx. Though no stories whatsoever about Styx ever existed in local Malay martial arts stories that I know of course, I wonder if the processes bore anything similar to each other. In Raja Loyo's story, he was finally murdered or assassinated with magic by an evil warlock who animated a semblance of a crocodile made from coconut shells and the roots of the babong tree. So did the ancient Malays, Kedahans or Kelantanese share some heritage regarding the power or the journey to become invincible? Did they both share that river of Styx journey and belief? That's something uncanny, because the power of invincibility exists in both lands. In Greek mythology, Perseus was the legendary founder of the Perseid dynasty. He was alongside Cadmus and Bellerophon, the greatest Greek hero and slayer of monsters before the days of Heracles. He beheaded the Gorgon Medusa for Polydectes and saved Andromeda from the sea monster Cetus. The Achaemenid dynasty was a royal house that ruled the Persian Empire, which eventually stretched from Egypt and the Balkans in the west to Central Asia and the Indus Valley in the east. They claim descendancy from Perseus through Parsus and then Perseus, son of Perseus and Andromeda. Now, who would have thought that the Perseus descendants would be living in the Malay archipelago, or specifically Malaysia today? Well, let me present to you some uncanny and probable connections. The father figure or founder of many subsequent Malay royal houses in the ancient world was Demang Lebar Daun, who himself claims descendancy from Iskandar Zulkarnain, who said to be Achaemenid's Cyrus the Great too. Although Professor Dr Solehah of UIA argued that that is not so, for she believed Zulkarnain existed or lived in Prophet Abraham's times, and he is not Cyrus the Great too. But we don't know for sure. Now, from the figure Cyrus the Great alone, we can deduce that many ancient Malay royal houses and people with noble bloodlines have the probable Achaemenids connections, thus connecting them through Achaemenids to Parsus, a descendant of Perseus, son of Perseus the Greek hero. We have Prabu Siliwangi from king of Sundagaluh, Pakuan Pajajaran, whose daughter married into the Champa kingdom. We also have ancient Kedah. We also have Sriwijaya, Patani, Champa, and others that are ancient royal houses that may have the Perseus Greek connections. The existence of probable connections to Achaemenids and Perseus does not mean that Malay kings and royal houses are foreigners. It's just that in the olden days, able and talented descendants of great dynasties are married into the local royal houses. There are a bajillion royal houses, kingdoms, and royalties throughout the ancient Malay worlds. The Malays, the ancient Malays, are self-governed, creating their own system and structures before even the Greeks came. There it is, the 5 probable and uncanny connections of the ancient Kedah and the ancient Greeks, plus 1 bonus point. We have the warding of evil sign, architectural influences, Mount Jerai, voodoo fish sauce, the invincibility power, and lastly, the Greek legendary hero Perseus connections. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope to see you soon. Take care.